Netherlands is one of the best tourist destination in Europe. If you are planning to visit Europe, then Netherlands must be on your bucket list. Hey, everyone. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to go over the top 10 fascinating facts about the Netherlands. Number 10. They really like their beer and sell it to everyone. In the Netherlands, 74 liters, 20 gallons, of beer is consumed per person per year. They are second only to Mexico in terms of beer exports. Of course, this is partly explained by the fact that the world's second largest brewer, Heineken International, is based in Amsterdam. The real story, though, is beyond the export market. While the Dutch happily flog their generic lager to English football hooligans across the water, they keep the really good stuff safe at home. There is a very good reason for this. The Winterhurst Bock beers are sturdy drinks indeed, high in alcohol to stave off the cold and powerful enough that 6 of these will make a grown man cry. Spring's Lentebock brings you back from the brink of total alcoholism with a lighter flavor and slightly less vicious punch. Number 9. Drugs are good, and the government will prove it. The Dutch are world-renowned for their liberal attitudes. But of course, the country isn't some degenerate free-for-all. The health concerns of getting out of your mind on chemicals are not neglected. A progressively minded place, the Netherlands recognizes that grown adults make decisions for themselves. Sometimes, that decision is to go to a club, take ecstasy, dance to mindless repetitive music, and chew their own eyelids off. The government agrees and will test your stash for free. The Netherlands has decriminalized the drugs that we know already work. Number 8. The people once ate a burger. Back in 1672, the leader of a powerful region in the Netherlands was lynched and then eaten. Johan de Witt led the United Provinces to great wealth. But when the French invaded, his republican ways fell out of favor. As we have covered on these pages before, historical France was quite bellicose and not the cowardly vendor of pastries and cheese that we know and patronize today. Incited by supporters of William III of Orange, a crowd burst into Johan's house, dragged him out with his brother, Cornelis, and beat them to death. The bodies were hung upside down from a nearby gallows ladder and mutilated. Their fingers, ears, genitals, guts, and so on were completely sliced off. Rumor has it that some of these prime cuts were promptly cooked and eaten. Fortunately for everyone, street food has come a long way in Amsterdam since those days, at least in that you can now buy French fries on the streets. French fry shops are everywhere in Amsterdam, more popular by far than chain fast food restaurants. In Amsterdam, do you know what they put on fries instead of ketchup? Mayonnaise. It's true, we've seen them do it. They drown the fries in. Number 7. The Netherlands has the highest population density in Europe. Based on United Nations data, the total population of the Netherlands was 17,140,098 in August 2020. The total land area of the country is 33,720 square kilometers, giving it a population density of 508 people per square kilometer. This makes the Netherlands the most densely populated country in the EU and one of the most densely populated countries in the world. Interestingly, around 92.5% of the population lives in as urban areas. And more than 40% of the total population of the country live in the Randstad, an agglomeration of the cities of Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague, and Utrecht. Number 6. The Netherlands is the 6th happiest country in the world. The Netherlands ranks as the world's 6th happiest country, according to the 2020 World Happiness Report. The annual study ranks 156 countries, taking into account factors such as healthy life expectancy, freedom, trust, corruption, and social support. And it appears that the jovial Dutch have plenty to be thankful for, scoring high levels of social and institutional trust, as well as social connection. Interestingly, the country also ranks significantly higher than its neighbors, Germany, 17th, and Belgium, 20th. According to the report, only Finland, Denmark, Switzerland, Iceland, and Norway are happier nations. Now there's something to smile about. Number 5. The Dutch invented the first stock market in the world. Now, here's a rather surprising fact about the Netherlands. Amazingly, the first stock market in the world was invented by Dutch legislators and businessmen back in 1602. This was done as a means of funding the Dutch East India Company and its long trade-based voyages from the Netherlands. The Amsterdam Stock Exchange was also created in the same year, and many consider this to be the oldest, modern, exchange in the world. The Dutch were also the first to develop fair trade certification, launching the Max Havelaar certificate in the 1980s. Nice one, Netherlands. Number 4. Gezellig. Hey sell ik. That's how you say gezellig. Like Schadenfreude, gezellig is one of those words that has no direct translation into English. Unlike the German word for taking pleasure at the misfortune of others, gezellig means cozy, quaint, or nice. But it can also connote time spent with loved ones, seeing a friend after a long absence, or general togetherness. Naturally, there's a sting in the tail, which is that pronunciation really matters. If the words are said in a light and upbeat manner, that's gezellig. If one or more syllables are emphasized but drawn out, pretty much like saying, hey sell ik, slowly, sounding slightly annoyed, ongezellig. Nega gezellig. Like hanging out with the grandma you don't like. Number 3. The Star Fort at Bortange. Star forts are cool because they sound like they should be in space, but they're not. They are on planet Earth. Star forts are, as the name might suggest, shaped like stars. Why? Well, the aforementioned cannons were developed to take out those pesky castles people like to build. Storming a castle isn't as easy as it looks in Monty Python movies. You will probably die trying, unless you use gunpowder to smash iron cannonballs into the nice, flat walls of the castle. The other issue was that the high walls of traditional castles couldn't defend well against sapping, tunneling under the walls and destabilizing them that way. Enter the Star Fort. The fort at Bortange is a beautiful example, shaped like two overlapping five-pointed stars. It was erected in 1593 by Willem Lodewijk van Nassau. Between 1593 and 1851, Bortange was an important fortress on what is today the German border. The fort allowed the Dutch to completely avoid getting killed with cannons, which was the point of building it in the first place. Number 2. Amsterdam is built on poles. As Amsterdam's soil consists of a thick layer of fen and clay, all buildings are constructed on wooden poles that are fixed in a sandy layer that is 11 meters deep on average. Yes, all of it. Today, concrete is added to shore up the piles. But back in the 17th century, the architects weren't in the business of looking 300 years into the future. If you go to Amsterdam today, you can see that many of the buildings have a certain lean to them, thanks to degrading poles, mismatched sizes, and the ravages of time. With the terraced style of Amsterdam's houses, the problem is mitigated by houses being held up by their neighbors. Still, the city is in a state of constant renovation and renewal. The Royal Palace on Dam Square is built on no less than 13,659 wooden poles. Most houses have around 10 wooden poles to keep them out of the swampy mire, but Central Station is supported by approximately 9,000 houten palen. Number 1. Bicycles are everywhere. 881,000. That's approximately the number of bicycles in Amsterdam. Oddly enough, there are only about 799,400 people living in the metropolitan area of the city. According to some estimates, around 100,000 bicycles are stolen each year. But looking at the multi-story bicycle parks in Amsterdam, you might wonder if people just forgot where they left their bikes and were too embarrassed to say. Huge areas of city center real estate are given over to bicycle parking bays, and the area has some of the most extensive bicycle-only lanes on Earth. Do not walk on them. You will be killed. 25,000. That's the number of bicycles that end up in Amsterdam's canals each year. It is said that only 8,000 bikes are pulled out of the canal every year, which means that there are quite a few bicycles still lurking under the waters. This is growing at a rate of 17,000 bikes per annum. With that being said, here we come to the end of our video. I hope you like this video. If so, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss any video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching.